Hello, citizens of the world. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you are new around here, my name is Courtney Keeley, and I am the founder of Open Up. As you've probably noticed, this week's video is a little bit different format from usual. We're going for a podcast style video this week. It isn't permanent, I just wanted to see how different it would feel. And before we get into today's topic, I just wanted to point your attention to the email list sign up in the description below. Also, if you know anyone interested in pursuing immigration law, please direct them our way so that we can all get connected. Thanks. All right, so over the next couple of weeks, I wanted to focus on the exploitation of immigrant workers. I know it's a lot heavier than the videos we've done so far, but we need to talk about this. This week, I'm going to focus on Latina Domestic Workers. The National Domestic Workers Alliance is my primary source for this week, as well as an NBC News article on the topic. The links to all of these sources are linked in the description below in the link tree. I'm going to start by talking about a report from the NDWA that was published in 2018 about the economic hardship and working conditions that a lot of Latina domestic workers experience. This study found that more than a third of the 516 domestic workers surveyed reported that someone in their household went hungry in the last 12 months. Over half of them could not pay for medical care for someone in the household who needed it. 44% said they were unable to pay rent on time. 59% were unable to pay gas or electric bills. And 42% could not pay their phone bill or water bill. Within domestic workers, a lot of these numbers are even higher among house cleaners. Several of these workers are asked to do work that is not in their job description, especially with elder care workers, who make up 36% of those surveyed. Folks in that specific area will be doing house maintenance for the sake of the health of the elder person, but when family members of that elder person visit, they expect her to do the same maintenance for them as she does for their elder relative. And just a quick caveat, I'm using the she/her pronouns for the workers because 99% of those surveyed were female. The elder care worker's job, in part, is to ensure that the elder person is living in a safe and clean environment because the older person cannot maintain their household any longer. The elder care worker is not a house cleaner, and if the family in question wants a house cleaner, then they need to hire another person to work. The study also said that of those interviewed, 67% work without contracts. And if they did have contracts, some of them were forced to accept the terms, and even more of them did not understand the terms of the contract they signed. Benefits are scarcely enjoyed by these workers, with only 2% receiving paid leave of any kind. And on top of that, about 24% of the workers in the study experience wage theft. And among live-in workers, 60% of them were pressured to work more than their scheduled hours. Just because someone is living in their client's house doesn't mean they're on the clock all the time. That is not part of the job, and it is not what they are paid for. Circling back again to the fact that most of these workers work through an agency that determines their hours. Regarding citizenship, undocumented immigrants are asked at about twice the rate to do a different job than what they were hired to do. The study also found that unauthorized workers are twice as likely to be threatened and 3 times more likely than U.S. citizens to be pushed or physically hurt on the job. This goes to show that when people don't have a reporting mechanism without risking deportation, employers will see it as an opportunity to do whatever they want to these workers. And here's where the whole argument about immigrants, quote-unquote, stealing jobs starts to fall apart. They are not stealing jobs. Employers are hiring them because of their status so that they can get away with abusing and manipulating these workers. The main thing that I want us to focus on is that it is not that they are stealing these jobs. A lot of these places that employ undocumented immigrants do so because they know they can get away with abuse. They know that the worker in question will not risk being deported over the abuse that happens. The villain here, if you want to think about it all in a very narrative sense, is the way that people are allowed to manipulate other people's situations. In turn, They make the person who doesn't get the particular job vilify the person who is being abused while working the job. The immigrant is not your enemy. The system that prioritizes profit to the point of promoting exploitation is the enemy. These are all numbers from 2018, but now I'm going to turn to a more recent report from 2020 on the impact that COVID-19 has had on these workers. From March 13th through September 18th, NDWA delivered 25 weekly surveys through the Alianza chatbot on Facebook Messenger, averaging 18 questions, and sent to an average of more than 56,000 domestic workers each week. They had more than the average 1,300 responses for most of the key questions asked. By late March, over 90% of workers lost their jobs because of COVID-19, and nearly 3/4 of workers did not receive compensation for jobs that were canceled. Since the pandemic, the number of workers who earned between $0 and $300 in their best week went from 25% up to 78%. More than 1/4 of workers lack a device for their children's remote learning, and half of the workers do not have access to medical care. The virus and the Latina Domestic Workers' access to relief are having an enormous impact on their level of economic hardship, their ability to maintain their health and the health of their families, and is degrading their children's ability to learn and their ease of learning. I'm going to address solution options in a separate video because a lot of the exploitation categories overlap. Also, if you have not voted yet, please take the time to do so this Tuesday, November 3rd, and stay safe out there. With that, don't forget to sign up for the email list, give the Instagram a peek, subscribe to this channel, and give this video a like. Until next week, citizens of the world, goodbye.